Welcome to my series on 50 ways to love a chicken. And today I'm going to share with you an old family recipe. It's actually my wife's, and she said to me today, "You're really going to share that recipe on video to everybody?" I said, absolutely, because it's so good, so delicious, so simple. So stay tuned and I'll share it with you in just a moment. Welcome to All Things Food with John Woods. I love to cook, but I cook to love. So let's talk food. So we have some real simple ingredients. Obviously, the star of the show would be the chicken. We have some chicken breast that I've butterflied, and you can watch my video on spatchcocking chicken and butterflying a chicken breast. And I also like to add some dark meat, so I have a couple chicken thighs. And what we're gonna do is so simple, and this is very important, what I'm gonna share with you right now. We're gonna bring our water to a boil. I'm gonna add a little bit of chicken base, maybe a tablespoon or two, or you can add a couple cubes of bouillon to your water. That just gives you a little more flavor. So you bring it to a boil, then you reduce it down to a simmer, which would be about 190 degrees, 200 degrees. So a boil is rolling. It's a rolling boil. Simmering means that you're just gonna have little bubbles up around the edge of your saucepan. And why do we do that? Because if you boil chicken, it will absolutely dry it out, and your chicken salad or whatever you're cooking is gonna be very dry. So we're gonna simmer our chicken for a couple minutes. And the reason that I've butterflied it is because it'll cook much quicker. So we had this at a rolling boil, and now I've brought it down to a simmer, about 200 degrees. So we just have small bubbles moving up around the edge of the saucepan there. And I have my chicken thighs that I've trimmed the fat off of. Stick those right in there. And then these were cutlets, and I've really cut them into small pieces. You're welcome to do that. And then here's a chicken breast that I've actually butterflied. I'm gonna put that in there. And we're just gonna let that cook for probably 10 or 12 minutes or so. We're gonna check on it. It's not gonna take very long. And you're gonna find by simmering rather than boiling, your chicken's not gonna shrink up as much. You're not gonna have as much loss, and it's gonna be much more tender and juicier. It won't be dry, so you'll have the perfect chicken salad. So we've let our chicken simmer for about 10, 12 minutes here, and let's make certain that it's completely done. I'm sure it is. We'll just break it open. Yeah, perfectly cooked. And notice it's not too dry, and we didn't have a lot of shrinkage here. Usually if you boil a thigh or a chicken breast, it will shrink up and really look horrible. This looks really, really good, and we cooked it in that chicken stock or chicken broth, and I think it's gonna be quite delicious actually. Pull it out of here, let it cool down just a little bit, and we're gonna shred it. Now I always like to shred it when it's hot. Now I'm used to this, you're probably not, but I'll take a fork sometimes and find where the grain is, and I'll shred with the grain like that with a fork, and it usually comes right apart. It's not too difficult. If you don't like to do that, get a knife and do something similar. Just pull it apart like so. I'm using the edge of the knife actually, not the sharp end of the blade. And this is hot, but again, I'm used to this. You're probably not. So I'm going to do it, and you do whatever you're comfortable with. So I've let this cool down a little bit, and you notice I put gloves on. I'm kind of finicky about things like that. This is ready to eat food. I have it on a brown cutting board because the brown cutting board is for food that's ready to eat and be consumed. I put gloves on because of the same reason. And I'm gonna take this chicken and just shred it a little bit more with my hands. It didn't take very long to cool off at all, just maybe 2 or 3 minutes, actually. Now, if you want to, you can actually take a knife and chop this into finer pieces, but I really like my chicken salad shredded like this. That's just a preference, but whatever you want to do is fine. So I'm gonna taste a piece of this chicken. I told you that it'd be good and moist and have a little flavor in it from the bouillon that I used. Yes, it's very, very good. It's gonna make great chicken salad. I don't like to eat in front of the camera, but had to do that. Place the chicken in a little mixing bowl over here. Now it's easy from here. We're gonna add our finely chopped celery. And I'm not going to add all that because I can always come back and add a few little more. So I'm going to add maybe about half of it. Come over here, I'm going to add my mayonnaise. That's about 1 cup, and that was 2 breasts and 2 thighs. That may be a little too much, but we'll deal with it in a minute. Then I'm going to come over here and take a lemon, hold my finger there to catch any seeds, and squeeze a little bit of lemon juice into it. It's better if you squeeze this and then dump it in there, but keep the seeds out of it. A little pepper, a little salt, and I'm going to just mix it by hand. And this chicken salad is so simple. You've noticed it hasn't been too complicated. A few basic ingredients. The hardest part is actually cooking the chicken. And you put this in your refrigerator for a couple hours, and you're really going to enjoy this. I had a retail store, and we made so much of this, it was unbelievable because people came from all over just to buy the chicken salad. I think it's going to be one of your family favorites. Now, we always want to taste everything that we cook, so I'm going to just get a little bite of this. To me, it tastes really, really good. I like the lemon. It really livens the chicken salad. A little bit of pepper, a little bit of salt to your taste. I think you're really going to like this. This is part of my series on 50 ways to love a chicken. I hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to hit the subscribe button. Tell your friends about this channel, and I'll see you next week on All Things Food with John Woods.